Good morning. It's another beautiful Monday morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Everything Legal with Debbie Darlington. I am Deborah Darlington, yes, your host. It's another beautiful morning, Monday morning, where I get to give you an exciting, interesting legal aspect that you may know or you may not know. Please, before we continue, like, share, and subscribe so you can get more interesting content. Thank you. And don't forget to comment and ask your questions and give your opinions and your suggestions. It will be very much appreciated in this channel. Thank you so much. Today, we're going to be looking at 5 important laws that a Nigerian must have at his or her fingertips. But before we go into that, we have a question that I must answer. Yes, from last week's topic. So last week's topic was continuous areas of interesting laws that can protect us. So we have a question that says, you said registering with CAC sets me apart from my business. Yes, I said that. If my business defaults, who will be held accountable? The business owner or those working for the business? Thank you. So I'm going to just be very plain because we have a lot of us here that probably are not learned, and so most of us that are also learned. So first of all, general rule is that once you have registered your company, it is a separate legal entity. Yes, it can incur debts, can incur liabilities, and whoever is suing has to sue the company, not the people that are running the company. But however, there's an exception to every general rule. In this sense, the general rule here has an exception because a lot of directors, shareholders, stakeholders can hide under the fact that a company has a separate legal entity and defraud third parties, if you know what I mean. Yes, they can commit criminal acts on their own and hide under the incorporation. This is where the courts will now take what we call lifting of the corporation, the veil of incorporation. They remove the veil of incorporation and look at those who are the perpetrators of those crimes, if you understand what I mean. Yes, by the time they remove the veil of incorporation, it sets aside the principle that a company is legally distinct. It doesn't protect the company anymore. It opens up the company and the people that participated in this crime and ensure that either they pay up the debt that they incurred or they are fined or punished for the liabilities that they've already accrued to the name of the company. Yes, we call this, the term in a legal context is called lifting the veil of incorporation. That's the name, that's the term of that act that the courts will do. Let me read what I have here. Lifting the veil of incorporation means setting aside of the principle that a company is a distinct and separate entity from its management and ownership for the purpose of extending civil and criminal liability to its management and ownership. In this regard, the court can hold the shareholders, directors, personally liable for the company's actions or debts. This is separate from when it is the company that has incurred these debts and liabilities, where it is the company in its name that incurred these debts and liabilities. It is the company that will be held liable. The company that will be held liable, not its directors and shareholders, but whereby it can be proven that the directors and shareholders have somehow penetrated into the company, maybe assets, maybe finances, and taking out money without due process, which has maybe caused the company to go bankrupt. The courts will lift up the veil of incorporation and punish those who are responsible for that action. I hope I've answered that. Thank you. So let's just quickly get into the 5 important laws in Nigeria. I'm in Nigerian, so that's why I know this, and I want to also educate my people. It could be also very important laws for other countries. I'm sure. Please, if you are from other countries, leave your comments and let me know the important laws in your country too that are the tip of your fingers. One, we have the Constitution. The Constitution is the most important law in Nigeria because it incorporates the fundamental human rights of every citizen, and it also allows for other laws. It gives like a background, it's like a ground norm for other laws to establish their own acts, statutes, and the likes. Let me read what I have here. Okay, the importance of the Constitution is the reason why you hear people use the expression that this is unconstitutional so much, because if something is unconstitutional, it cannot stand, it is not legal. The Constitution contains the fundamental human rights of Nigerian citizens, and also it is the law from which all other laws in Nigeria gain their validity. That is why the Constitution is the number one law that every Nigerian should have at their fingertips. It can protect you in every area of your life as a Nigerian citizen. Yes. Second law is the Criminal Code, Penal Code. Let me read what I have here. Actually, as the name implies, criminal code, anything, the law, the codes that governs crimes and the likes. So, okay, these are laws where most of the criminal laws are contained. The provisions provide on the actions that constitute a crime and what are the penalties for committing those crimes. Crimes like murder, rape, armed robbery, fraud, witchcraft. Yes, witchcraft is a crime in Nigeria, and much more. Some crimes have their own specific laws because of the importance of the technical nature of these crimes. Money laundering is a specifically criminalized crime under Money Laundering Act. There's a Money Laundering Act. However, most of the laws are in the Criminal Code or the Penal Code. The reason why there are two different laws is because the Criminal Code is for most of the states in southern Nigeria, while the Penal Code is for most of the states in northern Nigeria, but they serve the same purpose. There are certain key differences in the law which reflect the cultural differences between the northern and the southern Nigeria. Thank you. Yes, that is what we have on our Criminal and Penal Code. It's very simple. I didn't need to have to talk much. That's why I just wrote down certain things that will be able to communicate with you and you'll be able to understand. Then the next one is our Electoral Act. This 2023 election, it was top notch. A lot of why this, a lot of why that, a lot of no, it's not this, a lot of 25% in FCT, 25% in other states. So, my dear, I'm sure that right now a lot of Nigerians have their Electoral Act at their fingers, ready to fight to put the right leadership up there. Let me read what I have. We have included this law because it's the law that regulates how elections are conducted in Nigeria. The law does not deal with the eligibility of offices and terms of office of political office holder. That one is contained in the Constitution. The Constitution provides for the eligibility of those offices that are contested for. It does contain all other elements of the electoral process in Nigeria. For example, it deals with the establishment of National Voters Register, procedure of voters registration, direction on conducting political rallies, election campaigns, the establishment, staffing and management of the INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission. INEC is the organization that conducts elections in Nigeria. Recently, we also have the BVAS that has been incorporated in the Electoral Act. Yes, the Electoral Act provides for the due process of election in Nigeria. Thank you. We have the Labour Act. This one regulates employee-employer. Yes, every day we have a lot of 9-to-5 workers. Even if you are working on your own, even if you own your business, you have your employees. Do you understand? Their rights are governing you as an employer, and their rights are governing the employee in the Labour Act. Let me read what I have here. The Labour Act is a primary legislation in Nigeria which deals with the relationship between an employer and its employees. It contains quite a number of provisions which govern this relationship, and also all the regulatory process applicable for employers. Some important provisions under the Labour Act are provisions that employees must have a written contract and are entitled to payment of wages, that's their salary. Provision against forced labour. You cannot force a staff to work, maybe your 9 to 5, you now want him to work extra, maybe 6 to 12 a.m. when it is not in his contract. That is illegal. The employee can sue you and get damages in money. Issues like maternity leave are also provided there, yes, and even paternity leave. Okay, last act in Nigerian should know is the Land Use Act. This one governs all our land. We want to buy land, we want to invest in property, we want to do estate business, you want to, anything it is, you want to sell land, you have to know your Land Use Act. First of all, you have to know that every land in every state in Nigeria is under the governor. So it is only the governor that can give you a certificate of occupancy for 99 years. Do you understand? So this is a separate video on its own, but let me just summarize what I have here for you. Land Use Act is a primary law that deals with the ownership and transfer of ownership in land. The law is quite unique in the sense that it is more important than a regular law. Before this law can be amended or repealed, there is a protracted process. In fact, it can only be amended using the same procedure as would be followed in amending the Constitution. One of the important provisions of the Land Use Act is that all land is owned by the government. That is why when you want to buy or sell, you need governor's consent. Yes, that is what covers. Without the consent, the government can just come and take over your land. Maybe they want to use it to build a road or a bridge or an industry for the state, and you don't have your governor's consent. You have your own uncle. Go and make sure that you have your governor's consent on that property that you just bought, on the land that you just bought, before you build your house on the land and then 20 years later it is demolished. Why? Because you don't have governor's consent. Yes. Also, let me tip us here. Before you buy a land, please, no matter how cheap, no matter how fast, no matter how much you are in a hurry, always ensure you go to the land registry to confirm that the person you are buying that land from is the owner of that land in the land registry. And by the time you buy that land, ensure you go back to that land registry to put the name of the land in your own name to reflect that you are the new owner. Of course, you go with your necessary documents, your deed and the likes. Your lawyer would help you out in all of those documentation, of course. So this is actually the 5 major laws that we as a Nigerian should have at the tip of our finger. Like I said, there are other laws that I've mentioned in my other videos. There are a lot of laws that cannot be covered in 1 or 2 or 3 videos, yes, and that's why I'm actually excited to have or go through this journey with us all. Yes, sorry, I'm sweating because I'm excited. I have to let you know that. So thank you. Drop your comments. Please don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video so that you can get more notifications when I drop every week. Also share to your friends, family. You don't know who you can bless, who doesn't know all of this, who can learn from this, and subscribe. Help us to grow this family. Thank you. See you in our next video. Ciao.